Thank you for joining me. This is Joe from Joe's Transformer Toy Reviews. As you may have noticed, I have a new setup, new lighting, new backdrop, everything, and I'm going to be using this from now on. This is my first review using my new equipment. Today's review is for Titan Returns 2016 Brainstorm with Arcana, I believe. This figure is a store specific, I believe it was Walgreens specific store exclusive. This figure is basically a remold of Blur from the same line, only a few waves earlier. This figure is only available at Walgreens traditionally, but honestly most people seem to be finding it on Amazon and stores like that, so it's not that hard to find despite being a store exclusive. Actually finding Walgreens, I was not able to find one, even though it was listed as being available in stores near me. I wasn't able to find it. Online may be your best choice. I ordered mine online from Walgreens. Price is about $16 to $20. $20 is about to be expected. Maybe a little bit more because it's an exclusive. Slightly, it appears to be harder to find. I expect like $25. Now, I did enjoy the original Blur figure. The figure had some problems with color, though. It was just several different colors of blue. With this one, as you can see, there is some aqua greenish blue color, some different variation in grays, and the wings and other parts have changed. They also added blasters to the nose piece, which honestly makes it a much more interesting addition to the figure. A lot better than just a shield-like concoction that they gave for the original one. You can technically combine the weapons together and have it as a form of triple blaster, which I'll show you. But it does secure extremely tightly, and the hand does get in the way. You would have to remove it from the hand, combine it like so, and then Brainstorm would then have to hold the weapon in a double-handed maneuver. Doesn't look bad, but I find it to be a little awkward. But you may not agree. You may like the look, which I would understand. Alright, so that's how those accessories work, and when put together like this, they can store in the back just like they could with the original figure. As you can see right here, I believe one of the first flaws you may notice is the head. Now keep in mind, all flaws of this figure are incredibly minor, but this is something I like to point out. The head I don't really care for. I don't know, it just appears to be a little sad looking. Not as expressive as the one for the Voyager figure that came out 2 years ago. It looks kind of lifeless. I'm not a very big fan of that appearance. Again, personal opinion. So, let's go on to the transformation. I'll put that down. Transformation is, I would say, almost exactly like the one for Blur, but I'll go through in case you did not see that. So, move the covers of the hands over. Then I am going to bring up the back component, remove from the shoulders, flip the arms around. Open up the legs, move out the tail fin, rotate the legs here, move the feet out of the way. And combine the legs, fold the bottom back in, move the... Now, this is actually probably the point where you want to put the the nose piece in after you rotate up the cockpit, move the seat up, The nose piece goes on. Snap it in. And then move the arms back so they snap into place. Go up the cockpit. And you can transform your headmaster. Now remember this, I believe this is the same look as Hyperfire, the one that came with Blur. Not especially interesting. Most aquamarine and some gray. Bring some better light over. And some gray for the chest, and a little bit of paint, orangish paint for the face. Alright, so next, let's seat up a little bit. Put this figure in. And you can see the vehicle mode. I have to bend his leg at the knees. That is meant to be. Alright, now Blur was a type of futuristic racer. This Brainstorm is supposed to turn into a spaceship, jet-like vehicle. Does this fit? I find that the wings are a little bit understated. And it's got an unusual curve shape that I'm not really that impressed with. It is personal preference. I just don't really buy it as that good of a spaceship. But honestly, that and whether or not you like the face are the only negatives I could really come up with for the figure. They do bother me a little bit. But again, personal preference and all that. There's really no real flaws otherwise. It holds together extremely well. It rolls like a vehicle would. If you had Blur already, I don't know if I would really recommend buying this one as well. If you have this one, if you have a choice between this one and Blur, I would go for this one. Blur has been going for around $10, so the price might be a big factor if you'd rather just buy that for cheap. But honestly, I do feel this one's a little bit better, edges out Blur, because the color contrast does make a big difference in a lot of people's books, mine especially as well. And just the little details do make it up a little bit more interesting. Like the little lasers on the end of the wings. I just wish they were a little bit bigger, better stated, and they reshaped the nose cone. But honestly, for your own opinion, if none of that bothers you, then there's really nothing to prevent you from really purchasing this one. Again, the same front piece that comes out for Blur also comes out for that one to steady the weapon, the nose cone, as a weapon platform for the headmaster. This one is a good fit for children as well as collectors. Nothing difficult, nothing dangerous. The smallest piece is the head, so if you have a child as any other headmasters and you're okay with that, then this is perfectly fine. Alright, that is my end of my review. This is a fairly straightforward one, as it is just a remold of an existing figure. Quite a good one. Fits the character, just doesn't really fit my taste in that for the character. I do prefer the Voyager version, but this one's still a very good selection if you don't wish to spend that much money on it. Again, this is Joe from Joe's Transformer Toy Reviews. Signing off. Please comment below or subscribe. Thank you.